Welcome back. I was checking your tweets there and grateful that you could join us. So, that's quite bulk, if you ask me. Front pages of the papers this morning. BNFT says procurement law needs amendment, according to Deputy Majority Leader Joe Asafo. City headache for new government depreciates 5.2% so far. Suba secures more contracts in Africa. Daily Graphic says help Ghana attain nationhood. Catholic bishops tell Ghanaians. Break tradition of praise singing. President urges Council of State. Dumsor under control. Ministry of Energy assures consumers. Daily Guide. Be frank. Get busy. Nana tells Council of State. Kufuor angry with Rawlings. MPs commend West Blue. The Ghanaian Times says abuse of incumbency during elections is real, according to a report by EU Chief Observer Mr. Thomas Bezerix. Suba makes giant strides. Ghana pledges support for FIFA. Council of State inaugurated. $700 million needed to prevent Accra floods. Atachia says so. His Minister for Works and Housing. The Daily Statesman, chief who opposed Ghana gas CEO concedes defeat. Nigeria seizes $1.2 billion oil block in Shell. Any scandal. New Mount pays $90 million as Ghana's second largest taxpayer. Be straightforward with me. President tells Council of State. And power supply stabilized. Energy Minister. Daily Heritage. Be truthful. President urges Council of State. Kudos. Let's hail our firemen for great show in Kumasi and Ashaman. Dumsor over, says Energy Minister. Suicide student didn't fail exams, according to KNUST. Sad story of the young lady who committed suicide by hanging herself. Now, legalize galamsey, says MP Honorable George Meku Duka, MP for Takwan Suem, says legalize galamsey. Why? We'll find out. KNU's student to be buried on Saturday. Give me wise counsel. President urges Council of State. The Finder newspaper for this morning says government recruits 1,000 agric extension officers to support planting for food and jobs policy. Don't be a rubber stamp advisory body. President to Council of State. 18 Ghanaians rescued from xenophobic attacks in South Africa. Atamil's tomb in dire state of repair. Why? I see pavement blocks choking some portions of it. Why? Well, power supply. Ghana owes Cote d'Ivoire $60 million. The Finder Sport says Disraeli gained support for Black Stars job. Are you wants more goals? Mourinho lands first trophy at Man United. And I say again, it's a good time to be a Manchester United fan. The National Forum, Ghana stares debate. Who next? Osiwa supports Ghana. So my guest, Honorable Eugene Entry, is MP for Subim, and Mr. Fred Agbenyo is a member of the NDC's communication team. Welcome, gentlemen. Good morning.
Morning.
Man United. Is it not a good time to be a United fan? Fred, what's your team?
I don't think it's a happy bunny.
My team is Slice of Life.
I thought you were going to say Bofakwa. Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's been cold lately. Have you felt it?
Not really.
You have not felt it. Why? Why haven't you felt it?
Well, I don't know.
You don't know.
I just like the weather.
You just like the weather.
Okay.
That's all.
It's okay with me.
How are you?
I'm good.
You're used to this one.
I'm used to more severe cold than this, so.
Please leave our brother.
I think it's normal.
He's our brother in power. He's a big man.
No.
Big man.
It's just dry. That's all.
Interesting.
I
So let's start on a Dumsoric note. It's here again. We're told that it's over. I don't know what your Dumsor report is or your testimony is, but Fred, what's your testimony?
I think it's quite a worrying development. I don't know if we are back to the days of Dumsor. There are just some power outages. I don't know what exactly it is. You can't predict, you can't tell. You can't plan it in the house. If the iron becomes a problem, one moment you have light, the next moment it's gone. I think 3 days ago I posted something on Facebook, wondering if somebody was standing by the ECG switch and play, or some baby was standing by the switch and play with the switch.
Chairman Utumi says it's sabotage.
Oh, sabotage.
Some elements within the ECG to
give the government a partner.
Yeah, he said that.
Wow, then this really suffered.
Okay.
Then some saboteurs really were for good years. If they stood out to the saboteurs, then they say we really suffered in the hands of those saboteurs. I think that NPP really should have no reason why they should not be able to need this issue to the bad. We need to find a lasting solution to this energy crisis. If you look at the investment that NDC did in the energy sector, huge investment. We've added on to the stock capacity of this country. We now have major means that we can pick from, either to rely solely on hydro. Now Tema has come on board. People are doing some work on biogas and what have you. We need to intensify those and make sure that we get it right. We were told in the past that the issue really is not about generation capacity or install capacity, and that it is the issue of money. Thank God, Dr. Baumia, who trumpet that so much today, is the leader of the economic committee, right? They should find the money and solve it. You cannot tell us that because one plant is down, so the entire country must go into darkness. You should be able to power the other plants to work. If they are doing any repair works on the FPSO, and for that matter, they are not getting gas to the Chiabo gas plant, it doesn't mean we shouldn't get crude oil to power some of the plants. But some of the plants use both gas and then crude oil. So if crude oil is not, gas is not there, use alternative. Right. So maybe I want to, on this occasion, agree with Dr. Baumia that the problem may not necessarily be technical. They want us to believe it may be some financial issue. By the grace of God, they will read the budget in 2 days' time, and I hope they will make adequate provision in the budget. The truth of the issue is that Ghanaians have suffered for far too long with this energy crisis.
But you told us that you fixed it before the election. We were told that's what you kept saying, that we have fixed it, we've done enough to curb it. I mean,
well, that is the truth. What we see today, in the past, our problem was the fact that we didn't have surplus energy. We didn't have installed capacity, and so anytime one plant goes down, you have a problem in the country. Today we have excess, and so if you do what they are supposed to do as a government, you should be able to maintain. What do they need to do? Like I said, if you don't have gas, look for crude oil. If you remember, a few years ago, VRA was spending almost $3 million every day in bringing light crude oil to be able to power some of these thermal plants. Of course, it was having a toll on their their finances, but that was the way to go. They should try and look for alternative means and find a solution. I've heard the sector minister, he's spoken very confidently. He has even given assurance that the problem is over. I can only, offer an advice that if he can take a cue from his predecessors, it will help him. He may not necessarily be a technical person, he may not be the engineer on the ground. He communicates what briefing he receives, and so he should be careful how he communicates those things. Because we also it in the past. They go even to the president and go and give him all the briefing, everything under control. He comes to communicate the following day, something happens. The minister same. If you remember, Honorable Commander Donko, he even put his head on the line. He gave himself 1 year period to be able to finish the work. He's not a person really to do it. The engineers who are working on the thing. It's the finance department that's supposed to release the money for you to do what you're supposed to do. If they don't release the money and the technical people don't give you the right briefing, or that there are technical problems that are beyond anything you can do on your own, it becomes a problem. The West Africa gas pipeline is still there. And I saw there are a few financial challenges that we need to talk about. Cote d'Ivoire, we have already had that relationship. As and when we have surplus, we give them. When they do, they give us. We try to do the balancing here and there and pay ourselves. Whatever the issues are, let's quickly get to it and have them resolved. And so we can get light. I don't think that as a people, we can continue on this path again. They said they were going to remove the energy levy. I don't know what the budget will bring come tomorrow. My prayer is that the energy levy is removed, and that will be followed by reduction in even tariffs and what have you, and the petroleum prices going down. I don't know how you are going to tie that in with the city that is falling, or maybe that
we'll come to that subject.
So, unfortunately, they have no breathing space. We have laid the foundation. The economy is
foundation of straw. That's what they said. That's what Dr. Baumia said.
Well, it is
not of concrete, but straw.
He said that because he was only looking at, in quote, the liability that they inherited. And for the assets, they are not marrying the assets to the liabilities. And when you do that, then of course you can get to where he got to. But if you have just supposed the liabilities against the assets, then we would have realized we've led a very robust economy for them. The foundation has been laid with commitment and readiness to serve this country, to be able to elevate and get to the next level.
Honorable Eugene, interesting thoughts there by Fred. The the minister keeps promising Dumsor is over, Dumsor is over, but then we keep getting it. We hope that today, well, it will stabilize. But God said, let there be light. And, why are we seeing otherwise?
That's a good one. And let me first of all say good morning to our esteemed viewers. Dumsor.
I had to say Pompo.
Well, it's just getting difficult by the day. I mean, like you rightly said, it's a 7-week-old administration, and Honorable Boache Jacob has probably been fed with a certain briefing that he communicated to the good people of this country. But what I will urge all of us to do is to exercise restraint and seek a more lasting solution to our problems within the energy sector. When the president came to Parliament over a week ago, he told us that it has entered the lexicon of Wikimedia, and it's getting, Ghanaians are getting worried by the day as to how we are going to find lasting solutions to these power cuts. It's not a very nice experience, and as a country, 60 years of independence, we should be finding lasting solutions to these problems. Partly, Fred is right. Dr. Baumia kept hammering on that it was probably more of a financial problem as opposed to a technical problem.
Right. But Mr. Jaco also said that the same thing at his vetting, that is a problem of finance.
Yes.
And at his announcement as minister, the president said because he has worked in the financial sector and all of that, he knows where to rake in the cash from.
Oh no doubt. No. I think nobody within our country can question the pedigree of Mr. Boache Jacob in terms of his experience out there, in terms of his intellect.
But we're not seeing that.
Well, it's only, it's only a 7-week-old administration.
But before the election, you told us that you had a blueprint, and as soon as you get in there, we're running.
A blueprint is fine, but like I said, I've worked very closely with Mr. Boache Jacob, and I don't think anybody within the MPP in particular, and Ghana in general, without his capability, that will be one of our successful ministers. I mean, what we all have to do, like I said, is to exercise restraint and allow him the room to maneuver. Like Fred said, I mean, some of these problems, we the politicians must, bear the brunt of it. I mean, we go out there campaigning, telling people or giving them promises when we know that the problems out there probably outweigh the promises. And I mean, clearly, I mean, we have to get all the technocrats on board. And some of these things, like he's rightly saying, it's not as the politicians. Get the engineers to come and sit here and tell the country what is happening.
But when you were making the promises, did you contact the engineers?
Oh yeah, of course. Every government relies on these engineers to come out with these statements. What I'm trying to say is get the engineers, get VRA, get Greco, get them, come and sit here and tell Ghanaians. I mean, I don't see why the politicians should always be at the forefront of these problems. I mean, we are elected to do a job. Right, but they are the technocrats being paid by the state to oversee these matters.
So now it's become the bane of the technocrats, not the politicians.
No, I won't say that. I think it's a collective. It's a collective.
But when you promise, you call the shots eventually. Because sometimes the engineers have also complained that they come to you with solutions and you tell them, no, this one we can't go to town with it. If we go to town with it, it will affect our electoral fortunes and all of that.
No, really?
Yes.
I don't think so, because I mean, we are serving the people of this country. We rely on their votes to come to power, and I don't think any astute politician can look in the face of a technocrat or an engineer and say, "Look, I'm not going to implement what you are suggesting because it's going to cost the electoral fortune." I mean, if you don't solve it, you have a problem with the electorate.
So, for the businessman who is worried because business will be crumbling, people may be losing their jobs, what's the assurance for them?
Well, like I said, I think we have to have a stakeholder meeting, get all of those people. I mean, I personally know of a businessman who was spending something like 140,000 Ghana cedis every month to protect his business. I mean, this is not the way to go. I mean, obviously, it's going to people will be sacked as a result. People will lose their jobs and what have you. As a government, I think we have the goodwill of the people to really tell them what the real facts are, vis-a-vis the energy sector, and now get them on side and exercise maximum restraint with this new administration as we seek lasting solution to this problem.
Okay, Fred. Yes,
I don't know. to be honest with you, this energy issue, I think that we should be able to find a lasting solution to just the people.
Exactly. We don't.
Still doesn't make sense.
For us, we don't care whose legacy it is. We don't care who brought it on and who didn't fix it. We want it fixed as a people.
First off, politicians, we really have to learn in this country. You see, today Honorable is here. You see that the song has changed.
But your song has changed.
If I want to play back his clips,
but your song has changed too.
I'm sure this morning this program will be reduced to the same old MPP, and it doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help this country to move on. Right. We need to build a country. If the light goes off, they don't discriminate. They don't say this is an NDC's man's house or MPP man's house, so it must not go on. My major issue is that the time has come for us to find a solution. See, I still don't understand why you go to an University of Ghana, Tech, Cape Coast. Look at the student population. Look at all the waste that they have over there. Biogas. Can't we get some of these institutions off the national grid?
Even
get some solar panels on a hairdresser salon. One small panel should be able to power what's the name? A dryer, a barbering shop, so that we get them off the national grid, so that gradually they are independent. They don't pay so much. The initial cost may be enough, but if you can inject money and do those things,
that's a very good point.
I think we can.
But
look
see,
at
the interesting point, Honorable, is that we have said this over and over again. There's somebody I remember, Dr. Ejinin Boateng, who came and says, look, even in China, there are high-rise buildings that face the sun. All those portions are palleted with the solar panels, and it's easy for them to generate, even for the hotels, giant hotels who depend solely on solar. We keep talking about this.
I mean, what Fred has said has probably hit the nail right on the head. I mean, driving around these days, you see all the CCTV cameras. Right. They all have solar panels, right? And I think the government might look at innovative ways of reducing taxes to get people to look at solar energy, because we have sun, 7 months out of the 12 in a year. And I mean, if it has a way of reducing costs, then the government must have vetted ourselves to reducing taxes in that direction to get more people to buy into solar and take pressure off the national grid.
Fred, the cedi is depreciating by 5.2% already. Yesterday we had some distress calls from traders who say, well, the dollar is running, they can't chase it anymore. On the website of the banks, they're getting something else. They go to Tudu, even though it's illegal, and they are told it's 5 cedis flat. And they're raising their hands in despair already. Say, well, maybe.
They are telling the color TV, you got top black and white.
Oh, really?
Are you
sure? We've sold our color TV and bought a small black and white TV. And that is where we are. And
we want to conserve energy with our black and white TV.
I can understand where Honorable is this morning. The two stories will definitely not favor you. But you see, I have a difficulty in discussing this subject.
Why?
Because as far as I'm concerned, by the grace of God, we have the best economy that has happened to this country. The man who suddenly, from a deputy governor of Bank of Ghana, became the young that I am as my economic issues, solutions that concern our country. He ran all over the place, professor the solutions. He understood everything. That Dr. Akoto says that we knew before then. Professor Bafoje and the rest, all of them somehow took a back seat. And by the grace of God, the man now is the vice president of Ghana. So why should we be worried about the city? Dr. Bawumia has a solution. He has a solution. And so it is not an issue for me. I don't know anything about I don't know how to hold it. He does. He told us when he was in opposition. And I'm sure you know about it. You can go and Google him and read the things he said, his projections. At a point, they started calling him a prophet. Okay. That when he says it comes to pass, he understands everything. So why should I be invited this morning to come now discussing the depreciation of our currency?
Doesn't it affect you?
Oh, it doesn't affect me, but we have a very competent...
You didn't expect that it will come to this.
I'm surprised.
But it's just a few weeks old.
So if it's just a few weeks, then let's forget about the discussion. Tell the businessmen you said you spoke to, who are already weeping and crying.
They came to speak to us.
Those who came to speak to you, regretting that they threw their
didn't say that. They said the way the dollar is rising.
Are they worried?
They are worried.
They are worried
about their businesses, about the people
I remember just when we lost elections, I don't know if you ever visited the Abosoka to buy sans peppers. The prices were reduced. I'm told by 30-something%. Yeah, by as you say it in tree, the price were reduced. Now come and clear, come and buy. At the time, nobody was saying about the CD-dollar relationship again. It was as though it was 1:1. It was free to clear the port. Nobody complained about the import duties any longer. Just go to Abosoka, and everybody was happy to play music and everything. So what has happened? When it comes to seizing cars and chasing people to their houses, nobody tells you we just came. We are just 6 weeks or 7 weeks old in government.
They did the cars to work, don't they?
But when you start asking now about the serious issue about the economy, then they are quick to remind you we are just 7 weeks. We are not worried. We are not in haste. As for the budget, it will soon come. Very soon you'll be in government for 6 months. You will be in government for 1 year. Our prayer is that by the time we are 6 months old in government, by the time you are 1 year old in government, these things are not we should be discussing again. I will be extremely surprised if we have to be invited here again to come and discuss depreciation of the CD, electricity problem, and no, it shouldn't happen again. With Dr. Baumia on top of issues, no, it can't happen. It can't happen.
Well, two things. I mean, I don't see the comparison between Dr. Koto, Professor Jambafo, and Dr. Baumia. I mean,
well, he was listed down. I mean,
Baumia came from the Bank of Ghana and became the story.
Okay.
Yes, he just became the story.
Dr. Akoto says being deputy finance minister.
No. They were established ministers, so everybody knew them. Everybody saw them. But Baumia was in his oak-paneled office at the Bank of Ghana somewhere, looking at the sheets and what have you. And he just was nominated to become the running mate to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo in the 2008 elections. And he had a platform, but even then, he didn't have the space to really tell, demonstrate to these people how
he was able to ask
was.
172 questions.
No, I'm talking about 2008. Okay. So when he lost the 2012, he was there again. People saw him. Then 2012, yes, he had been there. He's been around as running mate 3 consecutive elections. Right. He saw the problems, and as a top economist, nobody can doubt the fact that he's a top economist. Okay. Around the globe, not just in our country.
Right.
Nobody can deceive themselves. But what we must avert our minds to is we are in government.
Right.
The people of this country haven't trusted in the powers of this country.
For a reason. Yes.
And we must allow, the MPP, the ruling party, to govern. What I'm saying is, we saw it to President Kufuor. Kufuor took over this administration, like his administration, interest rate was soaring at 52%. Before he left office, it was 18%.
After 8 years, so we should wait till 8 years.
Nobody's saying 8 years.
It was 40.5%. But if that was
I'm not going to.
Inflation for 2000 was 25%.
Okay.
End of year inflation for 40.5%.
Just you are supplying information.
Okay. I'm not going to get into a banter as to what it was, but I'm telling the facts.
Right.
President Kufuor signaled his intention.
Okay.
About serious governance after 18 months in office. That's when he really saw all the problems and the way he wanted to take the direction he wanted to take this country. I will ask of my good friend Fredo, it's for all of us to exercise restraint. I mean, I personally gave Professor Mills two clear years. I have not criticized any policy of his, because I felt as a politician, you take over administration of this country, then you need at least 2 years to really get a foothold on the reins of administration.
Right.
Look, for example, the president is still in the process of appointing people. Yes, he only saw the Council of State in yesterday.
Right.
You go to the Constitution, look at the number of positions that you need to consult the Council of State before you can, they can be in place. The district chief executive, MMDCs, they are the people who are really in the thick of affairs when it comes to our governance.
Right.
They have not been appointed yet. They have not been elected yet. You are looking at all these things. So it's very difficult for anybody even in the president is very fortunate. I think he's the only president in the Fourth Republic to have won an election one touch from opposition to government. Okay. So it's had 8 weeks to assemble a team, and the team is not even completed. He said when he came to Parliament that his full team will be in place by the end of March. right? So we're looking at all this. Appointments are being made. There are certain sectors where they have no boards.
But taxes are still being paid.
No doubt, no doubt. But we have to wait for the budget to be read. Okay. There's no
That's
point.
Just 2 days away anyway. So
if you bear with me, there's no point jumping the gun. The budget will be read. Okay. We all see what is there. And then from there on, I think we can then begin to...
Are we not placing so much hope on the budget, the promises?
No, but you have to wait for the budget.
Paga to Takrady,
you have to wait for the budget.
So many things.
No.
You ask a question, you are referring to the budget.
No, but the Constitution, the framers of our Constitution, their wisdom, have crafted certain provisions in there. Right. The president will deliver his State of the Nation address. Right, tell us what he inherited and where he intends to take the country. Then the finance minister will follow suit,
right,
and come and tell us, they are the ones going to deal with the figures, the real figures, accounting to people, to borrow the phrase of our opponents, yes, or setting the record straight. So the finance minister will come on Thursday and tell the nation at large, where he intends to take the nation, because this budget is a budget of solutions. Okay. We're going to proffer solutions.
That's how you've Christianed it.
We Christian our manifesto as a manifesto of solutions. Okay. Because we all know the problems. As we sit here, we know the problems.
President of solutions.
Mr. Abeno, I think you have to allow me. You have to allow me. I gave you time to speak.
You had your time. Wrap up on this.
Yeah. So I think in a nutshell, let's wait for the finance minister to come on Thursday and tell us. Then, if you can decide to give a 6 months grace period or a year grace period or 2 years, that's up to you.
How much time do you need?
Well, I personally think that we cannot really do much until all the appointments are in place.
So, March, end of March, that's when the president said it will be...
I'm saying the appointments will be after March. We have the DCSC. They are the most critical component of our administration, of our governance.
Local government.
Yes, the MMDCs. The ministers can be in place, but what can you do at the district level?
So how much time do we need?
Personally, I gave Professor Mills 2 years.
Okay, so not actually giving 2 years?
Oh, at least 18 months.
Okay.
Yes, that's when you can really begin to criticize.
Okay.
Because then all the opponents have been, because you see, it's not easy. Right from 1992, it has taken every president not less than 5 months to put a team together. Right. You go and check.
Right.
And Nana Addo is trying to do it. Nana Addo is trying to do it in record time.
The facts are there, but then the expectations of the people are high.
So do you want us to? He said in Parliament, the president told the nation that he was a president in a hurry.
Exactly.
So he wanted these problems fixed.
So let's see the speed.
Well, you see the speed after Thursday.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Fred.
Thank God.
I'll give you 1 minute.
Thank God you are a president for the solutions, ministers for the solutions,
manifesto for the solutions,
manifesto for the solutions,
budget for the solutions.
It's coming on board. You remember the famous or infamous "If the economy is broke, fix it" address?
Right.
That address was presented in March of 2009. March of 2009. If you recall, that election, 2012 election, we had to even go to the third round.
Right.
I think it was on the 3rd or so, the 3rd of January of 2013 or 2009 that the winner was declared.
Exactly.
By March of that year, if the economy is broke, fix it. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Now Robo is asking for how many months? 2 years.
At least 18
months. Oh, Jesus Christ. What can you do this to of this country?
I was referring to myself.
He said personally, but you're speaking on your party's behalf.
His job now is to criticize and oppose.
No, I am not. I'm a Ghanaian, and I think I'm very, very fair.
Our job is to find solutions to a myriad of problems that we've inherited. His job is to get up every morning, come and sit on the TV program and criticize.
No.
But we have been put in government to solve the problems, and we will solve them.
Fred, is that your work?
We gave them the assurance that we are going to support them in the governance process.
Okay.
We are part of this economy. We are part of this country. Okay. We are not going to do like they did. President Mahama didn't even get a day.
Okay.
The day from what?
Can I explain?
A day from what?
Can I
explain?
His very mandate was challenged from day one.
Which mandate?
The mandate to be the president of this country was challenged from day one.
That's a totally different matter.
It is not different.
Which was cleared by the Supreme Court.
The man from day one, they were in court.
But the President Mahama himself told us that he was not affected by it.
He needed to give hope to the people.
But was he telling lies?
You expected him at the time to come into national television and tell the public that, listen, I can't sleep, I am worried, I am disturbed. Was that what you were expecting from the president? He needed to give hope. In the midst of
hope that was not real, Fred.
Do you know what it means to be a president? Somebody challenging you in court. We are not too sure what is going to happen in court.
Nobody was challenging. We're challenging the validity of
knowing
the
our
results.
history and what we are capable of doing in this country, in all our mega systems and everything, which is an easy thing.
The president said he
And
would
yet-
take advice from somebody who's not become president.
And
before.
yet, no, that was not his position really. You decided to generalize it. He spoke to a specific issue.
Okay.
He spoke to a specific person.
Do you know what it means to be a president?
I don't know what it means to be a president. But to be honest with you, you see,
I think you can have an
NPP,
idea.
where
You
we
know
are
what, you
now,
can have
the
an
Fourth
idea.
Republic, NPP, they've been in office before.
Right.
NDC has been there before.
Right.
They went, they are coming back.
Right.
So it's not as if anything is new. Majority of the people who are ministers today were ministers
They
in the
have
past.
the
and
men.
they've been there before. They have the men. And they gave the impression they understood all the problems of this country. And they had all the solutions to our problems. So if you come into office now, you're asking us to give you 2 years, 18 months. Why? Do you have enough time like that?
Okay.
Well,
Page. Yes.
I think Governor
We need to move on now. Okay, thank you. Page 5 of the Finder newspaper says Atta Mills' tomb in dire state of repair. The tomb of late President Professor John Evans Atta Mills is in a bad state 5 years after he was buried at the Asumdwe Park in Accra. A visit by to the park by news team revealed that the well-crafted metallic cover of the tomb has developed grim cracks, detaching itself from the rest of the artifact. The portions of the tomb are also falling apart. The management of the park have had to support it with blocks. And I want us to tie this in with 69 years ago when 3 of our gallant ex-servicemen, Sergeant Odate, Corporal Latipo, and Private Wellington, yes, Odate, Odate, and they were shot.
Yes.
They were marching off. They say a country that does not honor its heroes is not worth dying for. Here we are, 5 years down the line. This should not be happening. That it is falling off.
It's not pathetic. Maintenance culture. Everything that belongs to the state or that belongs to the government belongs to somebody. And so nobody pays attention. Nobody wants to take care of it. And that is what it has always been. People can sit in state buses, they eat and drop everything inside it. It's so dirty. You go to ministries, people are even writing on walls and sketching all manner of things on walls. I don't know the last time we visited a Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum until recently. It was just in a very terrible state.
Yeah.
Professor Mills' tomb, he passed on. President that passed on the throne, and we can't keep that place. In some of that jurisdictions, it's a tourist attraction center where even they get some revenue to maintain facilities like that. I saw the pictures yesterday and I was down. I didn't expect anything like that to happen, especially when we were in government.
Right.
And I thought I should have paid particular attention to a thing like that and keep that place in a very good shape. Unfortunately, this is where we are. I've heard my big brother Kokwani and the rest who are trying to put together Atta Mills foundation or institution.
Right.
I'm not sure what the name is. And if the state really will not pay attention, I'm sure that institution will pick it up and look for the necessary funding to make sure that place is kept as a mausoleum, kind of a place people can visit, people will come. There's a history about the man Professor Mills and the man Ghana. And so it's not a place that we should keep in that particular state. While I was driving here, I heard a news item that Ghana at 60 people are planning to even turn the Christianborg Castle into a museum, right?
Okay,
and I think it's in order, because I've been very, very worried since we left that place and moved to the Flagstaff House or whatever the name is.
Jubilee House.
Okay. Well, it's not been confirmed yet, so let's still call it the Flagstaff House. Because even at the time presidents were occupying the place, anytime you visited a place, you see, because it is so close to the beach, you see the decoration taking place, the air conditions and everything metallic, you see some decoration at the effect on the thing. And so I was wondering, having abandoned for some number of years, only a few persons were working over there. What is going to happen to that particular facility? And the cost to maintain that thing has always been very, very expensive.
Exactly.
And so I'm happy that they said they want to add some value to it, a place people can walk in, visit, let's look for the necessary funding and put it in a good shape. These are the things that brings money. Foreigners out there here, so people come, they go to Cape Coast Castle, Elmina Castle. They pay tourists, travel to other jurisdictions. They don't have any natural resources. And their stock of money for their country is tourism. And so we shouldn't see these things as a waste of resources. It is how we brand it, how we package it, how we even advertise it out there. That will rake in the needed money. But if people come in and the first thing they see are cracks all over the place, in this case of Professor Mill's tomb, you see, I don't think it's right. You mentioned the
three gentlemen
who died on that fateful day.
Corporal Atipo.
Yeah, I think that was 1949.
Yes, 48.
48. That led to the politics, actually 1949.
Exactly, which gave rise to our independence.
And these are men that we have to celebrate. These are men who sacrifice and pay for the independence that eventually came to this country. And so it is not something that we should just take for granted. It's not about just them. It's about the liberation that we got, which eventually even affected the whole of African continent. Because that is where the energy somehow got to its peak and drove people on to make sure that we get the independence. Until not too long ago, even there are tombs that were built around the Black Star Circle were just left in some states.
Yes.
The last time I passed around, as if it's been corded off quite nicely.
It's been done by their own relatives because they've seen that the states won't support it.
These things are not correct. We have departments and agencies in this country that are supposed to take care of this. Monuments and structures.
Do they have the funding to do that?
You go there, go and find out what the budget is, and so they're not able to do it.
Even the median on our major streets, the median, it's overgrown and it looks like a rice farm.
There's something wrong, and we need to get back to the basics. Face some of these things. These days, you drive around towns, I say street lights are just some fun. Daytime they look so beautiful, in the night you pass and the whole place is dark. We can't get our street lights working every now and then. Go to Accra Sports Stadium, beautiful edifice from outside. Go there, enter the urinal. The water is not flowing. The place is stinking. The place is dirty. Even the grass, we can't maintain the grass. Go to Kumasi.
Unfortunately, we're using the stadiums as entertainment centers for events. And so there's a musical concert at Cape Coast Stadium. Prior to that, the grass was green. After that event, go and see it. Go and see Cape Coast Stadium.
And this
terrible.
We need to guard ourselves against some of these things. They are not in anybody's interest for us to continue that way. Let's pay attention. We spend huge money to put these things in place. And if you have put it in place, you cannot maintain it and benefit from it, then what is the use? That money they would have gone down the drain.
Honorable, you have lived outside before. I'm sure when I mentioned Lagoon and you're outside, you have a different picture. Very nice scenery. People go there to relax and all of that. In our situation, the lagoons are very dirty. They bring a very dirty picture, a dirty patch. And I'm saying this because there's a lagoon right behind the Osu Castle. And you should see the disconnect between the Oxford Street and when you're getting towards that part, right behind the castle. It's, I don't know what to call it. Is a hive of activity for mosquitoes, for cholera, for everything else. Now, these are three heroes we're eulogizing today, plus our professor, whose tomb in just 5 years is breaking and being destroyed already. Where do we go?
Well, let me start from the deaths of three noble World War II soldiers.
Yes.
Odatilamte, Atipo, and was it third name?
Ajete. Sergeant Ajete. Corporal Atipo.
That probably intensified and amplified the clarion call for regaining independence from the British. It also led to the arrest and detention of the Big Six. And I mean, for heroes like that, they should be celebrated. They should be celebrated. They're part of. You see, that's why some of us have issue with the founder day or founders with apostrophe day. It should be founders, because right from the 1940s, there was this massive struggle for independence.
The
anybody who participated, they must all be celebrated. It's not just about the person who became the prime minister. It's about everybody who participated in making that thing a reality. That is what is subject matter. And we as a nation, as the president said, must go back, to the drawing board and look at how to make all these personalities important. and stop, hero worshipping just one person.
Okay.
That is that. I believe that the families of these people, whether they've been compensated or not, is another matter. We must look at also, compensating them or, doing something to commemorate their memory, a posthumous museum or something. What is that? On the President's Mills tomb, on my Ghana, sometimes you don't know where to start.
Okay.
I personally visited the home of Winston Churchill,
Okay.
the greatest wartime leader in Britain.
Right.
It has a big place in Kent with a massive green park overlooking the building. Even the last cigar that he smoked is still on the ashtray. It's still on the ashtray.
Okay.
The last cigar that he smoked, you can still find on the very ashtray
Wow.
that he sat next to.
Wow.
Everything is intact.
It's preserved.
And we pay money to go and see these things.
Wow.
Yes. You go to cabinet war rooms in Britain, just right by the House of Parliament, right by 10 Downing Street. We pay money. And I'm talking £10. Kids will pay £5. Year round, you know how much?
A lot of money.
Buckingham Palace, where the Queen of England resides. You pay money in the summer to go around. People look at the Peduasi Lodge sitting there. They will tell you it's a security zone. They won't even allow you to enter.
You are in government now.
No. What I'm in government, because even when this was the impression first time when I tried to even go and have a look at the place, security zone. What is security about it? What is the security about it? You have to search me before I enter.
Okay.
There must be scanners placed at the entrance.
Right.
And if people, even Britain is more prone to bomb attacks than Ghana.
Yeah, right.
So we don't know how to make money. You see,
we're
because
always
we expect the
complaining.
government to be putting subventions in the way of these buildings to maintain them. We don't know that we can open these buildings up to the public, open these places up to the public, and generate income to take care of the maintenance. And that's what I think, as a country, we have found wanting. I think we should be doing more in terms of the awareness, in terms of, allowing these facilities to raise its own money to take care of itself and take the huge burden of government, of our already overburdened purse. And I think these are the areas you have to look at. The filth and that, when I go to my constituency every fortnight, I will get up sometime around 5:30 a.m. and I personally drive through the constituency, personally, on a Sunday morning. That's when it's very quiet. Well, the Saturdays are very busy days for funerals and what have you. So on a Sunday morning, I personally take a drive through. Without a driver, I drive myself. Okay. And the filth, choked gutters that breed mosquitoes, cholera, and name it. This is the heart of Kumasi. So you see, it's not just maintaining facilities.
Okay.
It's about other sanitation problems as well, which you all have to take a proper look at.
The sanitation problem is huge on our hands.
The littering, in Britain, you try
Minister for
litter.
Works and Housing is calling for 700 million to solve that problem.
We probably need more.
You see,
But there's been talk, Fred. There's been talk about recycling, organic.
No, you see, there are all bylaws on the statute books.
That's right.
It's just that we don't apply them. Look,
that is where the issue is.
littering in Britain. If you try and drop a can of drink, you will find something like £500.
Okay.
It's just
Great
a deterrent.
incentive for you not to do it.
That is where the issue is. It's not about looking for money and saying.
No, it's all there. All the
drains are
they're all there.
Look at this whatever lagoon.
Right.
Huge gutter. But every now and then the gutter is choked.
Why?
So
we have all the laws.
So
The
we've been
bylaws
told
are not
that
implemented.
we'll elect our MMDCs
That will
by
be from 2018.
if we are able to rework the law. Will it change anything?
No, I think you see, when you separate people to elections, they are more accountable.
Even when we know they can buy their way through.
We politicians,
No.
we are in cost to some of these things. This country, we play too much politics for everything. Sanitation affects everybody.
Right.
When it comes to issue of sanitation, let's deal with it head on. Let's forget about NDC, MPP. They will vote for me, they will not vote for me. Go travel, just drive around circle.
Okay.
This new project over there.
Right.
hawkers are taking over.
They have actually.
Go to the Kwasi interchange. They knew this and that they over.
Right.
They've taken over. You don't see these things when you travel out there. We have the assemblies they were supposed to implement the bylaws. And this will make people come and sell. They make the litter the whole place.
You know, speaking of the assemblies, Ladma, Ladadeko Municipal Assembly, sometime during Christmas, the traders at the hawkers near the mall, they said, well, they came to drive them away, and then later they brought their own people with tents, and they came to do exhibition. We went there, and they denied it flatly. The boss told us that, well, he doesn't know about it, but the traders showed us photographs of that exhibition. So the local authority, yes.
What has happened to that boss?
Yes.
Is he still a post?
Oh, he's there. He denied it. But the point is that they'll tell you one thing and something else happens, and we are counting on them to make sure that.
No, but I mean, I think the solution lies in the problems of electing the MMDCAs. But when they are being elected, you can't really blame the government, right? Because people will be subjected to a rigorous campaigning and subsequently the election, and you know that you have a tenure of office that will be subject to scrutiny by the very people who elected you. So you then become accountable. When people are appointed, then you have this culture of impunity.
Okay.
Creeping into the system where they think, look, I'm here for 4 years, nobody can touch me. I only lose my office when my party has lost power.
Okay.
Right? And it also decentralize and help in the industrialization of our country, because you go to places like, say, the Volta region, which is the stronghold of our political opponents.
Okay.
You have DCs or MCs, being elected by their own. So you have an NDC, MC in, say, whole central, where the NDC is very strong.
Right.
In Kita, Kitu North, Kitu South, places like that, where, and then...
It happens in Ashanti region.
Yeah, well, vice versa,
Right.
yes. So, but the crux of the matter will be that when they know that, look, in 4 years' time, these very same people who put me here can get rid of me, then they will sit up and be more accountable. They will sit up and do the right thing.
Right.
They will not be subject to any presidential control, so to speak, because most of these people do these things and so it's coming from top, from above. That phrase, I don't understand it.
Well,
where is that above?
Well, somebody knows somebody.
No, so it will get to a point where even IGPs will have to be elected in this country. Because when people are put in position of trust to protect our nation, and they are subject to, we have to look at the Constitution again.
Right.
Because these people must be independent. They are there for Ghana, not for a political party.
Yeah.
We will come and go.
Right.
But they are there to protect the very institutions that the taxpayer is paying for.
To the extent that they are appointed by the president, then they bear allegiance.
Because if you cannot say no to the president, because you'll be out of the door.
Yeah.
But if you are put there by an independent panel, right? Because go to Britain, for example, the Metropolitan Chief for London, any government control, preach within the framework, right? If they're found culpable of something, they're found culpable.
Right.
The law deals with them. But you come over here and almost the regional commanders, the statute of CID, the this, the that, and so every 4 years, if there should be a change of government, all these positions will be changed. And we must seriously take a critical look at our constitution.
Okay.
And say, look, these things are not working. You see, because all of us grew up in this country where these positions, though they were political, but they were on merit.
Right.
But now, it's an open gate.
Let's wrap up. Council of State inaugurated yesterday. The President said it must be straightforward. They must be truthful to him or with him and tell him if he goes wrong, they must keep him right in check. But here is a Council of State where the President is not obliged to even listen to the advice if he gives them. Are we entangling ourselves?
So in one vein, hooray. Another vein, too bad. Yes, hooray, inaugurated. They are supposed to start their work. But what power do they have? They are just supposed to be playing some advisory role. And the President reserves the right to accept the advice, not accept the advice. So what is in the Constitution then? We need to look at it again. We need to give them some powers in the Constitution to be able to tell Mr. President, this, no, you must not do it. Okay. And President must accept that position of the Council of State. Otherwise, it just becomes one of those creations just around, doesn't produce anything.
And they are Article 71 holders, so they get a lot of goodies.
And yes, if they get a lot of goodies, then we must also benefit from their work. they must benefit from their work. Sometimes some decisions are taken by presidents, and then you sit back and ask, so did they really consult anybody? They got advice, so people agree that this should be taken. You know, you ask yourself, and you sit back, so we had a council of state that agreed with the president that should do this, or you say this, or you should do that. You know, so we want to see them really working, and we benefiting from them. It must not just become Article 70, whatever holders, and when they finish their work, they go home with a lot of. These are very prominent Ghanaians who find themselves on that particular council, and so there are people we must listen to, people whose advice and contribution to the governance system must really be taken seriously on board, and I think it will do us a lot of good.
Honorable.
Well, I'm not quite sure about what Fred is alluding. The president has made it categorically clear after the swearing of the Council of State that wherever he's going wrong.
Oh no, it's not about President Akufo-Addo really. I'm just talking in general terms.
The president.
To the extent that the advice are not mandatory, so that is why I have it.
No, are we referring to the Muntie 3 issue, or we are talking about a proper?
Well, that's one in how many? There are so many.
I'm listening to what you're
Okay,
I'm just asking.
you say the president went to the president went to the council seat on Muntie 3 and you also to.
I'm sorry. I mean, it's too early. It's too early in the day. No, I would draw. But what the president has made it clear. I mean, look at all the papers. He said, "Look, correct me when I'm wrong." And the president that I know, I've known him closely for 13 years. He's a Democrat to the core. To the core. He's not somebody who is going to run roughshod over decisions of the
Can we
Council of
discuss
State.
that in 2 minutes?
No, please.
Can we subject that?
No, please.
What his democratic credentials?
Well,
why do we want to?
like
Why do we want to read the
Well,
president's CV?
Looking at the caliber and pedigree.
Can we go back to the Council of State? Don't mind Fred.
I'm going there. I'm not distracted by him at all. I know Fred. I know his line of argument.
Okay.
I know how his mind moves, so it's okay.
Okay. All right.
What I'm trying to say is, look at the pedigree and caliber of people on the Council of State. There are people who have, achieved in their own sense. The Americans will say they are achievers. Right? Look at, this is Georgina Kusi, proprietress of Georgia Hotel. The self-made woman. You look at Nana Utu-Sebo, an acclaimed engineer. You look at lawyer Okujeto.
Very prominent.
These are all people. They are men of
businessmen,
So
royalty.
they are not people that the president will say no to if they really have something to offer that would, push the developmental agenda of the MPP.
Right.
So I'm strongly of the view that if you look at the team assembled, and the team that was sworn in yesterday by His Excellency, the President, I think better days are ahead.
Have we always not had this strong team? We've always had this strong. Look at Professor the late Professor Awono led.
No, I wasn't even aware that it comprised of the former CDS, the
Chief Justice,
IGP.
No, it's a constitutional.
I wasn't even aware. I was only told
as it
when.
stands now, we don't have an ex-chief of
you
Chief
have
Justice.
one soon.
Yes,
in May, June.
Yes,
you have one soon.
Who's going to be the next?
You have to speak to the president about that.
Well, but
he
you
appoints.
know.
No. He appoints. I mean,
let's get on to Twitter. And Joel Kwati says, "Bro, I beg, it's not getting any better at Cape Coast. Mamoma is talking about the Dumsor.
The Dumsor,
said it's not getting.
It shall be well.
If you are playing music with your phone, it's more than a disco.
then it's very quiet there.
Yes. So I'm sure he's talking about changing color TV to black and white. Why do you always call on politicians to do news review, knowing clearly that they are there to skew whatever it is to their party's agenda? Someone says, well, very, very funny comments coming in from your guest. Well, my lights went off some few minutes ago. Classified, he said that one. And he says, well, it's good to be a Manchester United fan now. Thank you very much. Fred doesn't have a team, we know. Maybe he's a Chelsea fan.
I'm a Chelsea fan.
You may never know. You're a Chelsea fan.
Oh, yeah,
You still are with that team? Chelsea.
But
Really?
that's the only thing we have.
Really? That's why you're wearing blue?
The woman you.
But United is the
The
best
woman
team.
you is struggling to come
Eric.
Look at the man they play. People are happy with that
In
score.
unity
Oh,
is
we are
strong.
very
I'm happy with the score.
We're very happy.
The referees won the match.
We've won the trophy.
Clear penalty was denied.
No, but it's cool.
Clear goal was denied.
Okay.
And you're happy with those.
Oh no, but who has the cup?
That's too bad.
Who has it?
Who
now?
won the cup?
Who has it
As
now?
usual, you did that thing yourself.
Oh, we didn't want it. We didn't want
That's why I
it.
didn't want to comment on that.
That one too. We read the result.
You read the result.
Well, on this note, I say JM to us. Jose Mourinho, JM to us.
I was the song. I forgot the news that sit down. The driver now go.
Irani, Thank you. Fred Agbenyo is a member of the NDC's communication team, and Honorable Eugene AP is with the MPP, is the MP for Subim. And Fred is the Deputy National Communications Director. Second, yes, he will come to Parliament. He's had his peers go there, the Sweeneys, the Sam Georges, and of course. Anyway, thank you very much. So it's been fun, it's been fantastic. Go out there, succeed. Make sure that if you can think it and your heart believes it, you will achieve it. And go placidly amid the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. My name is Johnny Hughes. Have a great morning and be fruitful.